And I think America forgets that these are human beings. We've forgotten how to be polite. We've forgotten how to be respectful of different opinions. And I know that President Trump will get us back there. He really will.
She's just messing around, y'all. There's no way Alina Habba is buying the BS that she's selling.
And I think America forgets that these are human beings. We've forgotten how to be polite.
I want everyone to remember, and I said this in my closing argument to the jury, she's here to get a check. And after this, she will continue. She didn't care, about the defamation. She cared about the publicity.
We've forgotten how to be respectful.
Well, they've got 1 year, and then we're going to be looking at them deep and hard. And I'll tell you right now, if I'm in Washington, I'll be relentless too.
The people in charge of this country do not love America. They hate Donald Trump.
It's one of the most basic strategies of Trump's Republican Party. Be incredibly offensive, bigoted, hateful, and violent, but cower and cry when the people you insult tell you that you're being offensive, bigoted, hateful, and violent, and that Donald Trump will somehow bring back the sliver of civility that he demolished.
And I know that President Trump will get us back there. He really will.
I do get credit for having been an originator of the term. I have a very fertile mind. I come up with very good names for people.
You're very creative.
Pocahontas,
yes.
Lots of good names.
Have you heard her laugh? That is the laugh of a crazy person. It's the laugh of a lunatic. Have you heard it?
I do a lot of names for people, like Pocahontas. Some people say I'm very good at that. To tell you the truth, it's a very effective tool.
The people of Pennsylvania have to tell Kamala Harris that we've had enough. We think you're a horrible person. We think you're not a smart person, and we're tired of having stupid people run our country.
You know why? Because she's dumb.
I think the other one asking the question is dumber than Kamala, so she's a dummy. That is one dumb woman. I'm sorry, women. She's a dummy.
He congratulates himself for being a horrible person, then gasps and clutches his pearls when someone other than his running mate points out that his proposals and outright threats of political enemies is just like what the Nazis pulled off. But when confronted with facts, they get emotional and ask how anyone opposing them has the nerve to disrespect them with that dose of reality.
It's supposed to be a cakewalk. So are they misguided, the
50%?
Listen,
are they stupid? What is it?
I would never say that about the American people. And in fact, if you listen to Donald Trump, if you watch any of his rallies, he's the one who tends to demean and belittle and diminish the American people.
If anybody I know is Jewish and they would vote for Kamala over me, they should have their head examined. If any senior doesn't vote for Trump, we're going to have to send you to a psychiatrist to have your head examined.
I'll tell you what, any African-American or Hispanic, and you know how well I'm doing there, that votes for Kamala, you got to have your head examined.
We don't even have to run these obvious contradictions in their arguments for toning down the rhetoric or not being offensive to their voters. There's no way these folks don't know that they're angry and offensive. And as you've seen, their leader admitted that he thinks his very effective tool in getting his message across is doing this. So proving their hypocrisy isn't going to change their minds, because the objective is to silence the truth while the hate and lies that they spew go unchallenged.
That they would undo the protections of Roe v. Wade, and they did as he intended. Oh, you guys are at the wrong rally. No, I think you meant to go to the smaller one down the street.
So while MAGA has a firm grip on their pearls over that exchange with rally protesters, they cheer and celebrate Trump's blatant calls for violence when his rallies are interrupted.
Bye-bye. Look, see, he's smiling. See, he's having a good time. I love the old days. You know what they used to do to guys like that when they were in a place like this? They'd be carried out on a stretcher, folks. That's true. And he's walking out, and we're not allowed, the guards are very gentle with him. He's walking out like big high fives, smiling, laughing. Like to punch him in the face, I'll tell you. Back home to mommy. She goes back home to mommy. Was that you, darling? And then she gets the hell knocked out of her.
He's been confronted about his blatant call to utilize the military to go after his political enemies, specifically Adam Schiff. And on every occasion, he confirmed that it's exactly what he wants to do, while claiming he's a victim of what he wants to do to others.
Two enemies. We have the outside enemy, and then we have the enemy from within. And the enemy from within, in my opinion, is more dangerous than China, Russia, and all these countries. The thing that's tougher to handle are these lunatics that we have inside, like Adam Shifty Schiff. But I call him the enemy from within. I think the bigger problem is the enemy from within. I think the bigger problem are the people from within. We have some very bad people. We have some sick people, radical left lunatics. And it is the enemy from within, and they're very dangerous. They're Marxists and communists and fascists, and they're sick. I use a guy like Adam Schiff because they made up the Russia hook. The more difficult are, the Pelosi's, these people, they're so sick and they're so evil. Then there's a radical left, which I think are more dangerous in many ways than the other countries. I really do. Guys like Shifty Adam Schiff and other people, they're bad people. They're sort of sick people, not stupid people either, by the way. Smart people.
Sure.
But they're vicious, but they're very bad for our country.
Is Adam Schiff powerful?
Can you imagine? Well, he made up the Russia hoax. It's an amorphous group of lunatics. And when they come together, they're pretty bad. And it should be very easily handled by, if necessary, by National Guard, or if really necessary, by the military. They were saying I was like threatening. I'm not threatening anybody. They're the ones doing the threatening.
The enemy within, Adam Schiff, Nancy Pelosi, dangerous, evil, sick, radical, lunatics, Marxists, communists, socialists, fascists. Yeah, it's those guys doing the threatening. You have to refuse to pay attention to everything this guy says to come to the conclusion that he'll put an end to our lack of civility and bring back politeness and respect. There's a reason that he's running the same play from the Propaganda Playbook of repeating the same aggressive talking point over and over and over again. It's so that the minds of diehard supporters will be convinced that up is down, night is day, and Donald Trump threatening to attack his enemies in politics and media is peaceful and unifying. And most importantly, though, if he loses again, there's no way that they should accept it again.
How would you feel if Trump lost the state of Pennsylvania and that cost him the election?
I've already talked to my wife about it. We don't know what country we're moving to if he loses the election. I don't want to live here anymore.
Really? You'd move out of the United States?
I want to move out of the United States, whether it's Italy, Switzerland. I'm Italian American. I have Irish in me. I don't think I want to stay here if he loses.
Really? You'd leave the country?
I would leave the country. I mean that. Let me ask you a question. Where else in the world could 20 million illegal immigrants enter a nation and be allowed to do it? Me, a law-abiding citizen, I'm 63 years old. I couldn't go to any country in the whole world where they would allow me to go there. Me, John, myself, let alone 20 million people. How have we become this country?
But you want to leave the country and move someplace else and do the same thing?
What do you mean by do the same thing?
You said you want to leave the country if Trump becomes president. That's doing the same thing, searching for a better life. If Trump loses, you said you would leave the country and try and find a better life.
You know what I want to do? I want to have a little farm in like Tuscany, grow some veggies, take it easy, wake up.
But isn't that the same thing? Isn't that the same thing? These people are coming here for a better life. You want to go someplace else for a better life because you don't want to live here if Trump's not president?
No, it's not the same thing.
It's not?
No.